happy to talk today as we focus on Shelton Weekly at this time, brought to you by our Community Credit Union. Two great guests in studio today from the Mason Conservation District, Manager John Bolender, and the Manager for the City of Shelton, Ryan Wheaton. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Thanks for coming on and talking with me about this. A really exciting thing, the City of Shelton to be incorporated into the Mason Conservation District and being able then to receive some district services. John, since you're with the district, the Mason Conservation District, why don't you start with telling us a little bit about what this is, what the old boundaries are, and how Shelton got into be part of the new boundaries.
Well, I'll talk to the first part of your question. I think Ryan can probably fill in the last part more appropriately because he really initiated the relationship. But the Mason Conservation District has been around since 1956, so we've been in the community a long time. The district boundaries up until last month, or actually officially this month, were all of the area within Mason County with the exception of the City of Shelton. And so all of our natural resource efforts and work around habitat, stormwater management, helping landowners manage resources on their lands has been focused outside of the city's boundaries.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. And so starting, the arrangement was agreed to by the Washington State Conservation Commission on the 16th. Ryan, why decide to start through this process with the MCD?
A few months ago, I started to hear from folks inside the city. So Tracy Moore brought it up, Jason Dose, a couple other folks at the city kept talking about how they wish that we were again members or part of the Mason Conservation District. We had been in the past, had gotten away from that. And as we started to look at ways to partner with other agencies around the community, this Mason Conservation District kept coming up. And I learned very quickly after meeting with John that his reputation as one of the most thoughtful and important leaders in the community was true. We talked about a lot of projects that we didn't do a very good job of from the city's perspective, working on them by ourselves over the last few years. And I think every one we mentioned, John said, I wish it would have been a part of that, because we probably could have helped out. And when we asked how we've become part of the Mason Conservation District, he laid out from their side what they would need. And our commissioners all got on the idea very quickly. So we were able to get a letter of interest or letting them know that the city commissioners wanted to become a part of the Mason Conservation District a few months ago. John took it from his side, got things done over there, and we're excited now that not only we can move forward with partnering with Mason Conservation District, but I think more importantly, John has talked about this a lot with me, that this is a benefit to residents and business owners throughout the community as well.
So talk to me a little bit about how the Conservation District will integrate itself into the city. What are some of the services that available now as city members? And then is there going to be anything that will impact folks outside of the city limits who traditionally were in the Conservation District? Will they see any change in their service or whatever?
Yeah, so just following on Ryan's theme of excitement, we are extraordinarily excited to be able to bring our resources, our technical expertise, and the great staff that we have at the Conservation District to the city residents and the city itself. So we see several opportunities or several avenues that we can be of assistance. One is the city, as Ryan mentioned, has taken on several projects over the years and tried to work on them to the best degree they could on their own. As we all know, in a climate of diminishing government resources and tax base, we all need to collaborate more to get more done, or even to get done what we've been trying to accomplish on our own over the years. So through collaborative efforts, we can leverage our resources. So as an example, the Conservation District has a pretty extensive staff of technical folks. We've got an engineering group that does land surveying. They do design work around habitat projects. They do design work around stormwater management and things of that nature. We also have a landscape designer and landscape architect on our team. So we've been able to, as an example, help organizations like Public Utility District Number 3, when they built their headquarters office up on the hill, we did all of the landscape design and stormwater management for that project and saved the PUD about $500,000 on their implementation of that program. So as we look for niches within the city to align our resources with, or our technical expertise, some of the projects that the city is working on lend themselves to the expertise that we have in the areas that we've been successful. I think of the sewer basin project. I think Basin 3 is what you're working on now, and whether or not we can assist with that or not, there's some alignments around. The city has some sewer upgrades that need to be done. They also are in adjacent to proximities to where there's salmon habitat that needs to be improved. So if we're able to, through the timing, identify some salmon recovery projects or some stormwater projects that benefit or are leveraged off of the city's effort to do the sewer upgrades, then we get more for the same dollar that the city would have been investing. From a city resident standpoint, we basically, what our technicians do is we visit with landowners. We look at the natural resource issues on their property, whether it be stormwater management, whether it be backyard habitat. It could be as simple as soil erosion that they're experiencing on their property. And it's not always evident that, how we go about correcting those problems, and sometimes people don't have the resources to address problems on their property. So we can bring our resources to assess, design, and implement projects that ultimately benefit the city, the landowner's property, but at the same time downstream benefit the city. So just as an example, if we can assist a landowner in mitigating the stormwater runoff off of their property, that frees up capacity in the city's stormwater system. Mm-hmm. So every time we can help a single landowner, we're actually expanding the city's stormwater capacity without them having to expand their capital facilities budget and their costs. Wow. So those kinds of things are helpful. We do things as simple as backyard habitat, landscape design with native vegetation. So that landowners can not only attract birds and other wildlife to their properties, but it also reduces the inputs that they're required to manage their landscapes through fertilizers and pesticides and things like that. So through the implementation of more natural, what we call green landscapes, natural designs, landowners can have beautiful landscapes on their properties that don't require a lot of water for irrigation and don't require as many inputs around the fertilizers and pesticides and things like that.
Where does the Conservation District get its funding?
That's a really interesting question. So although we're a special purpose district and a division of the state of Washington, a governmental agency, we are not tax funded. We have no taxing authority. So all of the funding that comes to the Conservation District, we compete for through competitive grants for habitat restoration projects, for stormwater restoration projects. So we go out into the marketplace and we compete in the federal and state grant arenas. We've been able to, we've got a very talented team at the district. I've been very fortunate to help nurture the growth of our technical team, and they've become recognized around the region and actually around the state for their expertise, and have been very competitive in bringing funds into the community. As an example, and this isn't relative to the city, but we've been working on a project in the Skokomish Valley for doing some flood mitigation. And there's a state capital budget program called Floodplains by Design that provides state capital budget money to communities to help mitigate flooding and improve habitat. We submitted a $7 million proposal last fall that was the #1 ranked project in the state of Washington. So we have technical folks on our team that are very highly regarded around the state, and so when we get into an arena for funding through a grant program, the reviewers of those proposals have seen our work over many years and have seen the results that we've been able to achieve, and so we've been very fortunate and successful in bringing a great deal of new resources into our community. We look at this not only as natural resource management and good stewardship of our lands, but for every $1 million, as an example, that we bring into the community through the Conservation District, that translates into rural economic development. It translates into jobs for people driving dump trucks, running excavators, sourcing plants and plant materials from our local suppliers. So it's really a nice blend of helping make our community a better place to live, improving the landscape around us, but also improving good-paying jobs in our community.
So the arrangement was authorized on the 16th of March, and so it was a week or two ago. What do we see now moving forward, Ryan?
Well, we've already met, right? We brought you a list of everything we're working on, and John was nice enough to sit down with our Public Works Director and take a look at projects that we have that are in the near future and offer to weed through those and help us find areas that they might be able to step in and be a partner on this.
Nice. Well, I look forward to hearing more about this collaboration in the future. Again, I'm talking with John Bolender, the District Manager for the Mason Conservation District, and Ryan Wheaton, the Shelton City Manager. Thanks for coming on and letting us know about this.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, and thank you to the city for having trust in us.
Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be a really good project for both parties.